my channel, The Fancy Hat Lady Reads. I am wearing one of my fancy booktube hats, and this video is a very quick sort of check-in and also very quick TBR for Space Opera September. Now, Space Opera September has already begun, and this channel has been a little dormant for the last couple months. If you've been following me on Twitter, you might know why that is. I've talked some on there about the fact that there has been some very loud construction happening in my apartment building for the past 2 months or so, with no end in sight. This has, of course, negatively affected my ability to film, especially to film long videos. I had initially planned, for example, for my Space Opera September TBR to be tacked on to a much longer and more substantial video talking about some books and stuff. However, it turns out that when there's construction noise in my building for most of the daylight hours during weekdays, the last thing I want to do in the time when there isn't construction noise is sit down and talk to the camera for hours on end. So I've ended up deprioritizing my booktube channel quite a bit so that I can savor those golden hours of silence. This is also the excuse I'm giving for the fact that I've just not been reading either. I don't actually know if my inability to focus on reading is because of the construction noise, but it's what I'm blaming. In all of August, I only read like one short children's book, and it took me about a week when it should have been a one-sitting read. And I think it is because I am just so frazzled and on edge because of the constant noise in my building. However, I am still planning to participate in Space Opera September, specifically because I do actually particularly want to read some space operas right now. I mentioned that earlier in the pandemic times, some of the books that I found easiest to get sucked into ended up being high-stakes science fiction. So I've been very excited for the opportunity to participate in Space Opera September and pick some more of that type of book up. However, I am keeping my goals for Space Opera September really super achievable. If you're unfamiliar with this readathon, it's hosted by Thomas from SFF 180. I'll link the info down below. The challenges this time around are exactly the same as last year. The goals are a little complicated. Basically, you're trying to rank up based on how many books you read, with the highest ranking being, I think, 4 books. But then there are also challenges that are like extra achievements. And straight up, I'm going to tell you I'm not even going to try to read 4 books this time around. However, I am going to try to strategically hit all of the challenges with only 2 books. The one I am most excited about was one where I was crossing my fingers that I would get approved for this on NetGalley, because it was the book I wanted to read for 2 of these challenges, and that is 7 of Infinities, the new upcoming Julia Universe novella by Aliette de Bodard. And yes, hooray, I have indeed been approved for this on NetGalley. This is coming out, I think, on October 31st from Subterranean Press, which means that the print edition will be a limited edition fancy hardcover, but then that there will also be an ebook. If you are unfamiliar with the Julia Universe stories, this is a big, sprawling, short fiction universe that Aliette de Bodard has written in over the course of many years. All of the stories take place in the same universe, which is a Vietnamese-inspired space opera universe. But they all follow different characters during different time periods, and for the most part can be read in any order. I've read all 3 of the novellas in this universe: On a Red Station Drifting, The Citadel of Weeping Pearls, and The Tea Master and the Detective, and I'm very excited that we're getting another one. And for Space Opera September, the 2 challenges that this hits are to read a space opera novella and to read a space opera by a diverse author featuring diverse characters. It also meets half of the challenge to read 2 space operas written by women, and the other book I have that will hit all of the other challenges fulfills the second half of that challenge. This is Downbelow Station by C.J. Cherryh. This fits the challenge of to read a space opera that is 500 pages or longer. This edition of mine in mass market paperback is 526 pages. It also hits the challenge to read a space opera published before you were born. I believe this was first published in 1981. Now, this is the first book in a series called The Company Wars. I do really hope this is going to stand on its own as a story, though, because I'm really trying not to get invested in a bunch of new series right now, so I'm crossing my fingers on that. But other than the fact that this is a big sprawling space opera, I really don't know what this is about. I am hoping that even though it's 500 pages long, it's going to be a page turner. I am crossing my fingers for a page turner. I really need this to be a page turner. Now, I do have other books I could use if I finish both of those books earlier in September to hit 4 books. I'm not going to explicitly state that as a goal though, because I will just make myself feel stressed and probably jinx myself in the process. Meanwhile, the next video you can expect from me is going to be something I'm very excited about, which is going to be an introduction to a new video series I am planning on doing that will hopefully make it easy for me to continue making content when I am A, stressed, B, not reading much, or C, you know, have lots of loud apartment noise that's preventing me from filming videos. Any of the above. I think it's also going to encourage me to get into some books on my shelves that I've been discouraged from reading because I didn't feel like I was going to be able to talk about them on my channel particularly easily with my current wrap-up format, so I'm very excited. Please stay tuned. Anyhow, that's it. That is a quick video for today. I hope you're all doing well. Let me know if you're planning on reading any space operas in September, whether or not you're participating in Space Opera September. Anyhow, I hope you're having a nice day. That is all. Bye for now.